What's up, everybody? It's Chase with Energy to Conquer, and today is day 36 on my experimental journey, increasing my energy, my mental clarity, and my overall focus. And today is all about the oxygen. This week I am starting doing 3 breathing exercises a day. And so today is all about the oxygen. And my question to you today is this: is your lack of deep breathing killing you? So guys, if you like this content, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to comment below. This will help me reach more people with this content. Guys, it's day 36, and like I said, this is all about breathing this week, focusing on increasing my oxygen. And here's the thing, guys. In 1920s, I'm not sure the exact time, 1920s, Otto Warburg won a Nobel Prize for proving that cancer cells thrive in low oxygen, high acidic environments. So again, that's cancer cells thrive in low oxygen, high acidic environments. Last week was all about the salads. Did several videos on that and why you need the alkaline from the salads and from the vegetables, the alkalinity, and your body needs it. And so that's one of the things, like your cells need it to function, but the other part of that is oxygen. So whenever there's low oxygen, it just creates an environment where cancer cells thrive. And that was proof. You can go look it up. Otto Warburg, 1920, and that was actually a continuation of a study done from 1870s. We've known this for a long time, but our society doesn't focus on prevention. It focuses on treatment. So not going into that today because that's a whole nother topic. But what you need to know is most people are shallow breathers. If you're not out exercising, if you're not doing cardio, if you're not doing lifting heavy weights, like intensely heavy weights to cause you to breathe heavily, like you're probably a shallow breather, and you're very rarely doing any type of a deep breathing, and so your body is under oxygenated. And that's all there is to it. We was not designed to sit inside of comfortable living environments and comfortable work environments and sit at chairs and desks all day. We were supposed to be out working in fields, gathering, hunting, doing those sorts of things, building shelters. And so naturally our ancestors thrived because they were doing more manual labor than our society tends to do today. Is oxygen alone going to save you? No. But if you're low oxygen, if you're not getting enough oxygen, if you're a shallow breather, which most of us in society are now, like that's going to affect everything. Because if your cells are not getting adequate oxygen, it's going to lower your energy because your cells are not going to be functioning at a proper level. And guess what? Your whole body's made up of these cells that need oxygen and they need alkalinity to thrive. So guys, that's where we're at today. If you're not getting enough oxygen, you've got to figure out a way. You've got to do some breathing exercises. You can look up online. There's a lot of different things you can do. What I'm doing this week is where you breathe in and you hold it. So I talked about this in another video, but the thing is, like, you breathe in. So you breathe in for a 1 count. So basically it's multiples. So it's going to be 1. So I'll just do it in the instance of 4. So you breathe in for 4 seconds. And then you hold it for, it's going to be a 4 multiple. So if it was 4, you hold it for 16. Then you breathe out for 2, which would be 8. So inhale for 1, hold it for 4, and exhale for 2. So in the case of, if I wanted to multiply that by 4 and do a 4 count, so I'd breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 16, breathe out for 8. So you can do the math on that, whatever number you want to do. That's one thing you can do. You can also just do deep, steady in and out breathing. And you can also you can breathe in for 1 count, or like a 1 multiple, and breathe out for 2 just to double it. So if you breathe in for 4, you can exhale for 8. Actually, the exhale helps you as well. It helps stimulate your lymph system. That's one of the ways your body processes lymph. So your lymphatic system, which is the waste from your cells, and most people are probably backed up from that as well because they're not doing any type of deep breathing. They're just shallow breathers. So that's the key factor that stimulates your lymph system to circulate. So a lot of people are backed up with these, I guess, waste from the cells, and that's another thing that causes this to thrive, the cancer and all other ailments. But it's just low energy. because you know everything in your cells comes down to, you know, the cellular level, and you just protons and neutrons and all this stuff we learned about in probably 4th, 5th grade science, right? We knew this all along, but guess what? If these cells are not thriving, if they've not got the proper electrolytes, if they've not got the proper oxygen, if they've not got the proper alkalinity that they need to thrive, that's going to affect your energy. It's going to affect your energy in your muscles. It's going to affect your overall energy that you have in your body to do things. But a big part of that, it's going to affect your mind. I talked about brain fog. I did a video on brain fog. You can go and check out the video on brain fog as well. I'll try to link it in here if I don't forget, but I'll link it down here in the comments. You can go check out that video on the brain fog and check that out. But a big part of that comes back to the breathing, or shallow breathers. And you know, your brain, right, all that's still functioning on a cellular level, so your brain needs oxygen to be at its peak state, and to have a clear mind, to have clarity, to be able to focus for long periods of time. You have to have, you know, you have to fuel those cells with what they need, which is oxygen. And you know, there's other things along with that, but the big thing today is talking about is the oxygen. So you can go back and watch those other videos. You can watch my other videos last week. I didn't really get into a whole lot on the alkalinity, but that's a part of it as well. And you know, that's where it's at this week. So that's the focus, and that's why I'm focusing on this. Like I said, I'm doing 3 of those breathing exercises every day, and those are spread out through the day. I do one when I first wake up. I've been doing one when I first wake up. This whole process, it's just kind of my morning ritual, but sometimes I get off during the days, and I don't really get around to doing it, so I'm making sure to make that a point. Plus I'm still eating the 2 salads, which is alkalinity. And I drink, put minerals, add minerals to my water first thing in the morning when I get up, which is also, it's an alkaline. So the minerals in that are very alkaline, so that helps with the alkalinity as well. And so everything's really coming back to just the cellular level, instead of looking at because a lot of times modern medicine and the medicine aisle in the grocery store or the drugstore, you go and they're treating the symptoms, whereas nobody's really teaching you to look at the, I guess, the cellular level, and to be preventative and be proactive. Because guess what, there's not a lot of money in that. I mean, how much can you sell vitamins and minerals for? It's some that cost a lot of money, but it's still very limited, and people are not going to pay for that because it's something old. It's not shiny and new. It's not a superfood, right? I talked about that in the other video. You can go look at that video. It's not a superfood. They can't put superfood in front of vitamin A, right? They probably have. They probably try, but you get my point, right? It's just old and boring, and doctors would go out of business if they was not, I guess, if they was teaching preventative medicine. Or maybe not the doctors for much as the pharmaceutical industry would be way less. Like I've seen a thing that Americans consume 75% of pharmaceutical medicines. So I heard that today, and I don't know how true that is, but I guarantee it's close, because you can't turn on the TV without seeing a medicine commercial. And what are those all for? It's all for treating symptoms and not preventative, because there's no money, or at least not that level of money in the preventative, right? Nobody's getting rich selling salad, selling lettuce, right? And so that's, you know, that's what you got to look at. If America is consuming 75% of the world's medications, we're leading the world in heart disease and cancer and all these other things. I mean, you can go look at these stats for yourself. We're leading the world in all these things, but we're also leading the world in these pharmaceutical medicines that's used to treat the symptom and not prevent the cause, right? So we got to be smarter than that. But this energy is really about health, and it's about the energy. But you know, a big part of the energy comes from the health, and you got to get the cellular formula right, or you're never going to have the energy. And so a big part of that is the oxygen, and that's why I'm doing this today. And some people say you lose weight doing these breathing exercises. I don't know, I can't attest to that, but I can tell you that I feel a lot better. Like I can feel the energy difference when I do this for an extended period of time, whereas I do not. Even though I'm working out throughout the day, you know, doing a couple workouts, 1, 2, right now I'm doing 75 hard. Like, even, you know, I'm increasing my breathing rate, right? I'm getting more oxygen in my body throughout those workouts. So, but in addition to that, I can tell a difference when I'm doing these breathing exercises. Not only that, it's got a whole meditative, I guess, sense to it to just kind of ease your mind and just calm it. And I'm sure that's probably the oxygen. And the other thing is, like, even anxiety and was anxiety and depression. I think it was anxiety, maybe it's stress or anger. It's anger. I think anger and anxiety, if you look it up, like two of the symptoms of what happens in that process is you start taking short, shallow breaths. So you start breathing quick and short, and that's kind of your breathing patterns. So one of the easy ways to change your mental state is to change your physical state. And the reason, part of the reason that works is because you start breathing differently. And another thing is, like, if you want to change your mental state, start changing your breathing patterns, right? And there's a lot of different things you can do. There's Wim Hof, there's all these different things. And even when I'm sitting at my desk during the day, I can tell when I need to just do a breathing exercise, because I start getting just, I just can't concentrate. And it's just like, the longer I sit there, just like, the lower my energy goes. But I know what's happening, especially if I'm not working out throughout the day, is my breathing. It's getting shallower and shallower and shallower. And so I need to do those breathing exercises. And when I do that, it kind of makes me more alert, and it gives me a little bit of energy. I ain't gonna say my energy just goes through the roof, but I can tell when I need to stop what I'm doing and do a breathing exercise. So there's a lot there. I'll touch on some more on this tomorrow, but today is day 36, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.